And we're back.
We're back, that we are,
Of course we are.
to the MLG GameOn Invitational.
Yep. 16 players.
16 players.
$5,000.
How many players are left? 14.
Half after this group.
No.
No.
Half of the players that will be eliminated will have been eliminated by the end of
That's
this
what I meant to say.
I know. I got you there. So 1/4. will be
1/4
after
will
this
be
group,
eliminated after this group. Impressive.
I think.
And we have Polar Knight right now. CVP and Polar Knight. So this
Good
is...
map. I think this is a good map for an ace match. Ace match? Final match?
We could call it that. Yeah.
Sure.
Stayed going with a pylon inside the base, actually, this time. So he could still go for a Nexus first, but most likely we're going to see a gateway here. And this is an interesting map. Blink Stalkers are pretty powerful on this map.
Mm-hmm.
Two base all-ins are pretty powerful on this map. It's really hard to take a third, both for the Protoss and the Zerg.
Sure.
It is wide open. That's the Protoss' issue. The Zerg's issue, on the other hand, is that there's a massive choke on the right-hand side of the third. So it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good all-in map overall.
I feel like 3-gate pressure is pretty strong on this map if you try to open roaches, but Suppy favors the speed lane opener.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder what the thought process is here for this guy, State.
I guess we're about to find out. I mean, he is deviating a little bit. He's going for that gateway first.
Yeah, instead of the traditional.
Suppy is going for the hatch first once again.
Mm-hmm. Interesting to see him deviate. I wonder if the two
Double
gas is going down right away.
Well, I mean, 2 gas openers not very common, but it's something that State used to do a lot. We might see Stargate play. This, I mean, it's hard to predict what he's gonna go with 2 gases. Definitely a tech route, but we're yet to see what. It could be a Robo, could be a Stargate, and for now it's just gonna be a Cyberker, quite obviously. We're gonna have 2 probes mining each gas probably shortly. He's only mining 1 gas right now with 1 probe. There's a second probe.
I wonder if he's just sending him. Oh, it looks like he's just going to use the ones coming into the Nexus.
Yeah,
That's a little bit inefficient. He should have waited a little bit longer to throw that gas down.
it's inefficient, but like from talking to State, he sometimes does things like this, and when you when I say that looks inefficient, he says it doesn't actually matter in my build. Like I wouldn't be able to make anything faster by throwing the gas a little bit later, if that makes sense. And that's very build dependent,
I guess.
But yeah, just in general, for general audience watching, that would be, in most cases, inefficient. It's just some Protoss players have it figured out so that, he's not gonna stop pro production. He wouldn't throw any chrono boosts anywhere, anyways. He wouldn't have a Cybercore earlier, so he just does it with this build.
Sure. Have a probe coming around here to the third, just checking for a fast third, which Suppy hasn't historically been putting down, so States he's pretty much what he expects to see there. He will run around to check the other third, just to make sure there's nothing going down.
Both scouting a lot.
2 links going out. One
you
on
might
each
be wondering why the link just runs by the probe without killing it. Well, one link cannot kill a probe, and if he devotes both links to the probe, then he can't do whatever he's planning to with those links. In this case, take the watchtowers. So again, that link cannot kill the probe ever.
We do have a forge going down pretty early. Well, I guess not that early.
We might see double forge from State.
Maybe.
It's actually a really strong possibility now.
Sure. I mean, 3 gates are down, and we haven't seen a Stargate or any indication of DT or a Robo early on.
Yeah, just 1 forge so far. So I think we're gonna see a second one pretty soon, actually. Unless we, I guess he could still drop a Robo or a Stargate, but I think it's more likely a second forge at this point. He already has a lot of gas. He's still mining off of 2 gases, and we see no tech coming up. He's upgrading off of the first forge. First cannon going up.
Got 1 sentry coming out, not even making a zealot this build.
Yeah, chrono boosting the warp gate tech. He was blocking with probe, so that's covering the cell's job there for a little bit.
We do have the Robo coming out.
Yep. Nothing special.
So I'm kind of feeling like we might see a third this game.
It's possible, or War Prism, even. It could be all sorts of shit. We see Suppy going for a third base. on 2 gases he is still. Roach Warren going down now. Pretty safe timing for a Roach Warren, but not particularly safe. He's just seeing the lack of gas at the natural and thinking I might need a Roach Warren. But I think he also saw the upgrade, so he wasn't too worried before now. Usually you would otherwise like that Roach Warren maybe 30 seconds earlier, but he identifies that there's probably no pressure coming. It's just the lack of 2 gases at the natural that probably, made him think, okay, I might need a Roach Warren. And he's even making those spores because at this point in time, DTs could be hitting.
It also covers against a Stargate if you couldn't scout it. So.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't see any tech. And there's the Warp Prism that I was talking about.
Yeah.
There's also the Twilight Council. Are we going to see Immortals? Is State going for a similar build?
Almost looks like the builds he did. There comes the Dark Shrine coming in. Well, it still looks kind of similar to
it gets spotted too. Yeah. It's a really funny position for the Dark Shrine because the Ling has the Ling going
just has to get up to the wall to see it.
Yes, but the Ling would normally, if you just send the Ling, into the protospace to check the wall, then it's gonna try to go where the Zealot's sitting.
Sure.
So, not much going on right now. Stay taking that annoying position there, but he doesn't have a lot of units.
I wonder if the Dark Shrine is just for Archons?
No, it's definitely going to be DTs, and the Warp Prism is actually heading to Suppy space right now. So he's probably going to warp in 4 Zealots, put him in the Warp Prism,
so that he can drop the Zealots while warping in DTs.
Yes, and then do an attack on the 3rd. So he's basically going to tell Suppy, okay, which one are you going to defend, your main or your 3rd? Defending both perfectly will be incredibly hard. But at this point, State was actually forced to recall, Suppy being pretty smart and forcing those units back by just, making a lot of units. And now he's spotted the Warp Prism. He's kind of waiting for it. And let's not forget he made those Spore Crawlers. It may not have been DTs that he had in mind this late, but it's going to cover it anyways.
I wonder what's going on. Is State going to take that rear 3rd instead of the one to the left? That's pretty strange. That's not normal if he is.
I mean, I've
seen people do it before, but usually that's indicative of really kind of passive or scared. You think? No?
No, I mean, if there wasn't rocks on that 3rd, that would be the 3rd you would take every time.
Yeah, if there wasn't. But it's the extra time that it takes.
Yeah, but if he's planning to take a 3rd this late anyways, and he has the Immortals, which break rocks incredibly fast, then you might as well.
We do have DTs hitting the 3rd, I think, right now.
Oh my god,
no spore there.
One place that didn't have a spore, really unfortunate for Suppy.
And we do have DTs not doing anything to main.
Yeah, they won't be able to do anything either.
But the 3rd, that was an unfortunate mistake. Very strange too, given that he was ready for it in the main and the natural.
Yeah, but that was much earlier that he was ready for them. Again, I don't think he was expecting DTs at all anymore.
Maybe. I feel like he, because he moved his whole army into his main and he had 5
Well, he saw the Warp Prism.
Yeah. Maybe he was just expecting Zealots. I don't know. The way that he's hugging the Spine Crawler up there made me feel like he was ready for DTs. But
okay.
Still, regardless, pretty unfortunate. I think that damage was pretty good with the DTs. Taking out a base, even if he didn't kill very many drones, or any drones, which he didn't kill any drones, being able to take out that base feels pretty good as a Protoss when you're going to when you're taking a 3rd of your own. It's going to make whatever timing attack State throws after his 3rd finishes, and he's mined it for a while, whatever timing attack he throws at him is going to be that much harder to defend.
Yep, lots of Immortals in this unit composition. Oh, the army's off position for a second there. The warp needs to happen.
If the Lings run in, that's going to be very bad.
Well, State is paying attention now. There's no way. There would be a warping without a doubt.
I think if he would have ran the Lings right away instead of going up to the pylon.
Yeah, it looked like State was looking somewhere else, and now this DT. Wow. The Overseer is going to get there in time, I think.
I don't know about that. It's going to be really close.
He
canceled it. I think he could have
cancelled it. Yeah.
He probably could have killed it. Maybe. It was one swing away, though. I don't know.
It was one swing away, yeah.
But he had the whole army there and the Overseer.
Yeah, that DT would have, I think, died for sure before the last swing.
Do have a Spire almost finished for Suppy.
However, I don't know if I could have not cancelled it.
Yeah,
myself.
maybe.
I mean, it's
hard to say right in the
and it's such a huge decision to make as well. If you lose the hatchery, it's 300 minerals down the drain. If it stays up, of course, it's fantastic. You get your 3rd a lot faster. Sure. Now State is in such a great position, having his 3rd much earlier and even taking his 4th. Suppy forced him to double expanding. He is up in supply. State might get this Blink Stalkers caught it out in the middle of the map for sure. They will die, I think. He needs to move his army back to defend them. Oh, Suppy being a little bit too cautious.
A little bit cautious. I don't think that's necessarily a bad play by Suppy, though. You don't know if the whole army is sitting right up on the ramp.
Yeah, up the ramp. That's a great point.
Especially being in a pretty scared position. Suppy's army right now is not very impressive. Just Roachling Hydra with a lot of Ling. You know, no one faster. It's not very much DPS from Hydras there. He's got a few.
Where
Hydras.
are the upgrades at?
I see one melee attack is working. He has no upgrades whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his army, you know, compared to this Protoss army, 2 attack upgrades.
Yeah, he's going for a Muta switch, and that's why he's so heavy in Lings.
Yep. Unfortunately, though, Muta switch is really good when you're banking a lot of gas. Losing that third earlier kind of hurts his Muta count. I mean, he'll still be able to get out a few, but, I mean, not mining those extra 2 gases for so long is pretty
he's
painful.
going for a full-on base trade.
Full base trade, yeah.
I don't think State realizes this. So this might actually be Suppy's best chance here. He has so many Lings. Lings are going to chew through everything so fast. Even transferring the drones to the new base. State's going to be aware of that, but is he going to be able to defend? I don't think so. Oh, recall. And that is extremely safe play. I think he could have left a few more units there to finish off that base.
Definitely. He should have. He
did.
Maybe. I think it was an accident.
Nope, Immortal.
The Immortal
in the hatchery.
Immortal in a few centuries. I don't know how I feel about this recall. He already lost 1 base. If he can clean up this entire army and push afterwards, it'll be okay. But he is going to lose this Nexus too.
Yeah, I think it was the right call just because I don't know that he could have won the base trade otherwise.
Maybe not.
He was completely caught off guard by the Muta, I think.
But I mean, losing this many bases right now, I mean, is going to be pretty rough.
Yeah,
I don't know. He has to push all in after this. A lot of Muta sneaking around here. The Muta might be able to pick off some High Templar. They do get 1 or 2 High Templar there. This High Templar that's left has no energy, so no Storm available. I think Suppy with the split, I think Suppy might have done it.
Yep.
State's running around in confusion. He doesn't even have Stalkers to really contend with the Muta army. There's still a few Hydras chipping away at this back base down here. State down to only...
He's gonna go clean that up, but...
Sure. State down to only 2 Nexus, though.
Yeah, the supplies are fairly even, but Suppy banking a lot of money. He can make a lot of Lings, and with all of his bases, potentially mining whenever he wants. So.
And yeah, State blinking forward to scare the Muta off, finding, unfortunately, he doesn't have the numbers he needs. Suppy was able to get enough Muta out here, dedicating all of his production to Mutas. 1 Archon here, 2 Archons. To be fair, Suppy would have just magic box his Muta and spread him out so that the Archon doesn't do splash. He could almost just fight that. Not very much.
2 Archons might be too much, but
sure.
I mean, even then, any sort of trade would favor Suppy here.
Yeah, definitely.
He's just being overly cautious, but that's completely fine. Oh,
is able to pick off
just as we say that.
A few more Stalkers. Yep.
Yeah, that might close out the game right here.
Yep, we've got Lings flooding into this back third.
Yeah, there's nothing State can do from here.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the 2-1 victory that Suppy was hoping for.
Very nice.
And we're gonna have Suppy. This was the winners match, actually.
Yep. So that means Suppy is guaranteed to advance and head through to the next group.
Yep.
Which is good. This is a good win for Suppy.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the next stage, guarantees that he'll get to play some really good players. Suppy's always been one of those players, really just like State, on the bubble, right? On the cusp of being known as a really good player, right? When you bring up somebody like Suppy or State and you're like, they're a really good player, it's really easy for people to counter you like, really? Well, what are their tournament results, you know? And for players that are on that cusp, you know, the Illusions, the Suppys, the States, it's hard to answer that, you know. So these are the players that I think are the most hungry, you know, in search of tournament wins. So
absolutely.
Suppy advancing here. State not completely out of it. Will drop to the losers match where he will play the winner of Neeb versus Nooney, which will be what? Yeah.
Will be next, actually.
Yeah, will be next.
Yeah.
Versus Nooney.
Should be sick.
Should be sick. Nooney hungry for wins too.
Indeed.
Indeed.
So we're gonna go through a 3-minute commercial break right now. Production. We get confirmation from production. We're gonna get everything set up, and yeah, we'll see you guys soon.